So today I want to talk about why it's so important to take responsibility in football and as a footballer. And I mean responsibility in so many different ways. But first, let me start with a story. So obviously we were playing for my school team and we were at a tournament. I think the tournament was something called the Evans Moore Cup. If you're from East London and from a specific part of East London, you know about the Evans Moore Cup. You probably played in it. So obviously my primary school, we were at the Evans Moore Cup, the tournament, and we got all the way to the final. We were balling out basically. We got to the final and we were like, okay, cool. We were confident we were gonna win. So obviously in the final, it's a tight game. It's 0-0. I remember I made a defense saving tackle. The guy was 1-on-1, and I just came in and slid on him, one Basaka style. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it went all the way down to penalties, and I remember I stepped up for my pen, I scored, and then I think it went literally down to the fifth pen. So everyone had scored, I think. So and then it came down to the fifth pen, and basically our striker was meant to. Our coach didn't have a what's it called? Our coach didn't for some reason our coach didn't decide the five penalty takers before the shootout. He just did it like as soon as it was our turn. So once they took their pen, he literally just said to someone, "All right, go take. You go take. Okay, you go take. You go take now." It was weird. I don't know why he didn't decide the five shooters before the shootout, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I remember the fifth pen was our striker, and even before the shootout, he didn't look confident. He didn't want to take a pen. I think he even said, "Oh, I don't really want to take a pen." Like, and you could tell by his body language, like he just really didn't want to take a pen. But then our coach had basically said, "All right, no, you're taking a pen. Like, you're taking it. Go up and take it." And you could tell by his body language, I was just thinking, nah, this guy doesn't want to take. But then my boy, my boy who hadn't taken a pen yet, he really wanted to take. And I looked at him and I was like, hey, yo, bro, like, you didn't want to take a pen, like. And then he looked at me he gave me that look of sort of like, oh, I wanted to take a pen, but like the coach said he wants to take a pen, and I was like, yeah. When our striker stepped up, I was fearing the worst, and obviously he stepped up really unconfidently. I think even one uncle behind the goal shouted, look at him. He doesn't want to take the pen. He doesn't want to take the pen. And when the uncle said that, I knew he was in his head straight away. And yeah, he literally stepped up for the pen. It was a very weak pen, to be fair. The keeper literally, he tried to go down the middle, but the keeper literally caught it like this. And from that day, I remember that was back in year six. So we're talking 9 years ago. And obviously that boy that didn't my friend who didn't get to take a pen, I saw him recently. And bro, to this day, we still talk about that one cup final where he didn't take a pen. He didn't basically just say to the coach, yo, coach, I want to take. He sort of just could have sort of what's it called? Took a step back and didn't really like take ownership, take responsibility and say, nah, I wanna take it. And it still kind of haunts us to this day. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, every time I link up with that guy, like I saw him about what, a month ago, and that was the first time we had seen each other in about 3 years. And that was still one of the first things that came up in our conversation about how in year six he didn't get to take a pen. He didn't take that responsibility and just say, yo, like, I want it. He even told me that, if I could go back in time, I would have just stopped our striker and said, I'm taking this. And I would have done the same, because I knew if my boy took that, I knew he would score. So yeah, that's the thing about taking responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, if you sit back and let other people like basically control your circumstances, basically, it's gonna haunt you for the rest of your life. Much more, I think he would have. I think it haunts us much more because he didn't take the responsibility of saying he wants to take, than if he would have missed. Because if he would have missed, we would have. I think he would have been able to live with the consequences, knowing that he was confident, he wanted to, he thought he would score, and he just didn't. There, you can hold your hands up and say, it just happened. Keeper made a great save, for example. But because he didn't step up, because he let someone else do it, it's like, it just burns that bit more. So yeah, that's the thing about taking responsibility. You have to learn how to take responsibility. That's one form of taking responsibility. Just stepping up and just putting it all on your shoulders. Just enjoying that pressure, basically. So yeah, that's one form of responsibility. But yeah, let me elaborate. Let me tell you guys many more situations where you need to take responsibility in football. So the first form of taking responsibility is probably the one you were thinking when you clicked on this vid, but it's simply just taking responsibility and the blame if you make a mistake. So for example, let's say you're a defender, you've dilly dallied on the ball for too long, striker sort of nicked it off you and he's gone and scored. And then you go in, let's say you've gone in at half time, let's say for example, and your striker's giving you a busy saying, why the hell did you do that? What were you doing? This and that. And then you just put your hands up and say, hey, I fucked up, I messed up, my bad. Like when you say it like that, what can the striker really say? If you say it like that, if you say, look, I messed up, my bad, it won't happen again. I'll pattern up, I'll fix up for the second half. What can he really say after that? He's just gonna be like, alright, cool. Like he's low key gonna respect it as well. He's gonna be like, alright, he's not putting the blame on no one else. He's just accepted his mistake and he's gonna go out have a better second half and help us win the game. Like, but if you go, oh, if you react like, oh yeah, I made a mistake. But what about the two chances you missed in the first half? Blah blah blah. And then you two are just bickering, just arguing. Like, let's be real, nobody wins in that situation. Like, nobody wins the argument. It's just a detriment to the team. Now all the team are just like, what the hell? What's going on? We still have another 45 minutes to play. Now it's just bad vibes. Everyone's what's it called? Everyone's just down because you two are arguing. Instead, well, whilst in the other scenario, if you just say, "Yo, I messed up, my bad," everyone's like, "Okay, cool." He accepted his mistake. Let's go out in this second half and let's win the game, pretty much. So yeah, that's the first point. Just taking responsibility when you make a mistake, even if you feel like other people, because I know it can be annoying when other people put blame on you when they've clearly fucked up in the game as well. But hey, you just take it on the chin and just be like, "Alright, yeah, I messed up, my bad. Let's move on," because well and truly they're gonna respect you a lot more if you just take responsibility, and especially if you take responsibility and then you go out in that second half and deliver, you ball out, you help your team win the game. Let's say you're the defender, you keep a clean sheet that game. Let's say you pop up from a corner, bang, last minute header, or not even last minute header, but you pop up with a goal. Maybe you play a good diag to the winger who goes on, crosses it to the striker, and he scores. You're gonna get a lot more respect from your teammates and your coaches as well. People are gonna be like, "Alright, we can rely on this guy, even if he's having a bad game or he's having a few bad moments. He's shown the ability to come back from that and help us win games." You're gonna get a lot more respect from your teammates by doing that. So that's the first point. If you just make a mistake, just own up to it, because there's been too many times I've been in change rooms where we've come in for the at the end of the first half and everyone's just bickering. Everyone's just saying, "You did this, you didn't do this, oh, you fucked up here." It's like, nah, just everyone just accept your responsibility, go out for the second half, and let's just go win this game. Let's go ball out. So yeah, that's the first one. Take responsibility for your mistakes. Also, another thing as well, when you take the blame for your mistakes, instead of putting your energy into arguing with the other players about where they messed up, where you messed up, instead of putting your energy towards that, you can fully just sit down in the change room and put your energy and just analyze where it went wrong. Okay, why did this happen? What did I do wrong? Where can I improve? What can I do better next time? That's much more productive than spending your energy just arguing and bickering, because that doesn't help anyone. So instead of doing that, just make sure you just sit down and just think, okay, where did it go wrong? Okay, where did I get caught? Let's say you're midfielder, you got caught in possession. Let's say, okay, so what did I do? I took 3 touches in a situation where I really could have taken one. There you go. There you go. Next time you're in that position, take 1 touch, bounce it back to the defender, or bounce it back out wide, or yeah, or even for example, even if you're a striker, okay, I missed that chance. I kind of snatched at it. I could have taken a touch if I'd maybe checked my surroundings. I could have taken a touch and then hit it, instead of sort of trying to snatch at the chance, trying to hit it first time. But yeah, just that way, just taking responsibility, it just allows you, gives you it takes the emotion out of everything, just gives you that clearance of mind, just to and analyze your mistake and just be like, alright, where could I have improved in that situation? So yeah, last point about taking responsibility, I just want to mention is that um yeah, just be careful before you get onto other people about their mistakes. Just remember, think about your own mistakes as well, because obviously it's very easy. Like, it's very easy to look at other people and say, "Ah, oh, you messed up here, you messed up here." But what about your own mistakes? Because I've seen it myself, where the striker gets onto the defender. Let's say we lose 1-0. The defender, let's say, makes a mistake. He mistimes the flight of the ball and he's missed the header. He's let the striker run in behind, and our striker will get onto him like, "Oh, what are you doing that for? That's basics of defending." You hear all of this. However, nobody mentions that the striker missed four one-on-ones, or let's say big chances in the game. Nobody mentions that. So yeah, that's another thing. Before you go blame someone else, analyze your own game. Let's see, look where you made mistakes, where you can improve, and yeah, because it's very easy to put the blame on someone else, but it's harder to look at yourself and say, I messed up. You know what I'm saying? I messed up. I need to do better, type of thing. So yeah, that's my last point on that. So back onto the topic of stepping up to take a penalty. So I remember, I think it was in the summer. It was a blazing hot day in the summer. I can't remember. I think it was in early July this year. I was basically at a power league. It was like and they were doing like a seven-a-side tournament. I think it was before England played in the semi-final. I think it was that Sunday or maybe the quarterfinals. I can't remember. But I remember we were at power league and basically we'd gone through the group stages. My seven-a-side team, we played well, and then we got to the semi-final. I remember so the semi-final kicks off, and I remember I scored to make it 1-0, and then but obviously near the end of the game they scored to make it 1-0. So obviously it goes straight down to pens. And I still remember in the huddle, yeah, I remember when our quote unquote team captain basically says, "Who wants to take a pen?" I put my hand up, but I didn't like demand to take a pen. I just put my hand was up, but I was like one of like 5 people to put my hand up. And obviously the pens in seven-a-side, it's like each team gets 3 pens basically. So I ended up being the fourth pen taker. And I remember there was a guy ahead of me who I looked at and I was like, yeah, this guy's a good player, but I just had a feeling he was gonna miss, because obviously he's basically, for context, his sort of player archetype is like he's like a winger, but he's like like a Raheem Sterling type, where he can be very effective, he can get you goals, get you assists, but like in terms of like set pieces, he isn't the best in like striking a ball cleanly. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't really put even Sterling back in the days where Man City were winning 100 points. You wouldn't put him on penalties, free kicks. He was very effective back then, but you wouldn't put him on free kicks, on pens. Sort of like a same as like Jeremy Doku now, like great player, great dribbler, can be very effective, but you wouldn't. He doesn't have like that clean strike on him as like a, let's just say, a KDB or a Trent sort of thing. So obviously he stepped up. I think he stepped up what, second, and when he stepped up, I knew he was gonna miss, and he did miss. Keeper, it was a very savable pen, good height for the keeper. And I remember they went on to win the penalty shootout. I didn't even get to take mine. I don't even think the third take on our team got to take his one as well. And I remember just coming away from that tournament, I was pissed. Like I was pissed. I wasn't even pissed at the guy who missed. I was pissed at myself, because I knew if I had demanded that pen, if I said no, I need to be. Let's say I said no, I'm going first. I know for a fact they would have given me the pen. They would have been, because I know on that team that they would have trusted me with the first pen. But it's because I didn't like, what's it called? I didn't really like demand and say no. I want to take a pen. Like I'm desperate to take a pen type of thing. So yeah, obviously we lost the semi final, and in a game we really should have won. I feel like we dominated that team in that little seven-a-side tournament. But yeah, like it hurt me, because like I said, like with my boy in the previous story that I told, it's like you let someone else like lose you the game instead of like it being yourself. I feel like when you take responsibility, it's like, what's the word? It's like it's very like liberating, because even if I had missed, I'd be like, alright, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I took responsibility. I took the opportunity to take a pen, and I missed. So I'm probably now thinking about it, I'm probably more pissed than the guy who actually missed was. I'm probably more pissed because I didn't get to take a pen. Like from my view, it's kind of like I let this guy lose the game for me in a game where I scored as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I let him lose the game for me instead of, I'd rather it be we lost because of me, because like put that responsibility on my shoulders, because at least, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, I don't know, it's just easier to take when it's you missing the penalty as opposed to like your teammates missing the pen. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, that's how it feels with me. Especially if I don't get to take a pen. That's cool. That's why after that year, what's it called? After that situation in primary school with my boy, I vowed that anytime we were in a penalty shootout, I would always take one. But obviously in that seven-a-side tournament, I thought it would go down. I wasn't panicking, because I did think it would go down to my pen. I did think I'd get to take one. But yeah, it just didn't end up happening. But but guess what? Literally like 2 weeks later, I was at another power league, in a different power league this time. And basically, yeah, same. Literally, it's weird. I know it sounds like I'm capping. I'm not. I swear down. It's so weird. So this time we've gone all the way to the semi-finals again. This time, and what's it called? But we've gone 1-0 down this time. The crazy thing is, I made the mistake as well. I was dilly dallying in midfield. They took the ball off me, went and scored. And with like, I want to say with about 2 minutes left, my boy made a big tackle. He sort of played me through, and I got the equalizer. I was just so relieved I got the equalizer. So yeah, we go down to pens, and now we're in the penalty shootout. So now my mind is still thinking about that tournament from 2 weeks ago. I'm thinking, oh nah. So now I'm like, I have to take one now. And I was playing with guys I'd never even played with before. Literally before that day, I never even met them. It was just literally one of my boys just invited me to play with them, man. But the rest of them, I didn't know them at all. And I what's it called? I still remember that moment in my head. So when it was time for the guy to ask, yo, who wants to take one? My hand went straight up. I said, I need to take one. I even said, let me take first. Let me take first. But what's it called? My boy got to take first. I got to take second. Guess what? Scored my pen, and we went on to win the shootout. So yeah, that tells you the power of taking responsibility. Even if I had missed, I feel like even if I had missed, I would have been much more accepting of the loss, as opposed to knowing that I sort of shied away from it. I didn't really take that ownership of I need to take this. I need to be the guy. I want the pressure on my shoulders pretty much in terms of stepping up. So yeah, that's how obviously when it came down to that second tournament, I didn't want to repeat of what happened again. And yeah, guess what? We went on to win the shootout. So yeah, that's another reason why. Just take the responsibilities, step up. Even in an 11 aside, even if you're terrible at penalties, then fair enough. If you generally don't have confidence in yourself at all, then fair enough. But if you're decent, if you know, okay, if I take this pen, I could probably score. Like if you're that type of guy where you're like, I could take this pen, I could score, but I could miss at the same time. Go step up and take one. Step up and take, because I promise you, if your teammates miss and they lose the game for you, you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna feel like, because then you're gonna be like, but if it was me though, I could have scored that. I know I could have scored that. And you're gonna have all these thoughts of, what if this, what if that. Whereas if you just take one, even if you miss, or even if you score, great. Like if you score, you get all the glory in scoring. But if you miss, it's like, all right, cool. I was confident. I did what I did. It was a good pen, keeper saved, or good pen. I just dragged it wide. Is what it is. Whereas if your teammates are the one who misses and you feel like you could have scored, that's when you're the most pissed. I promise you. I promise you, that's when you're the most pissed. This is also another reason why. What's it called? I was watching my brother at one of his tournaments. I think this tournament, it feels like a bit of a time ago. I think it was about 2 years ago. So maybe summer 2022. Yeah, he was at a tournament, yeah, and the last pen game came down to him basically. Bear in mind, he's balling out all tournament. He's getting other managers coming up to him and saying, what's it called? Come play for my team. All of this, like he's proper balling out, scoring a lot of goals. I'm pretty sure it was this. I think this was 7-a-side. Yeah, so he scored a lot of goals throughout the tournament, and they get to. I think it was the final as well. They get to the final, and he's pretty much like the last guy to step up. I don't know if he was like exactly number 5 to step up, but he's like the last guy. So it's 5-4. Let's say it's 5-4 to the other team, and it's on him. If he misses, they lose basically. So he steps up. He tries going top corner, top right. He tried to go. He's a right foot. He tried to go top right, and he hit like the post. And obviously after the game, he's devastated. So obviously I have to do the big brother thing, put my arm around his shoulder, and basically just say, yo, you missed a pen. It is what it is. You literally carried your team to the final. It is what it is. You had a good tournament. Don't worry about it. But I said to him, I damn near threatened him and said, yo, but if I ever hear Dad saying that there was a penalty shootout and you shied away from it, or if I'm there and I see you shying away from another pen, you're a dead baller. I don't rate you at all. Like, no. If I ever see you shy away, I'll lose all respect for you. So yeah, like I was saying, I was basically just telling him, yo, if I ever hear you shying away from penalties, you're a dead baller. I can't lie. I don't rate you. And then obviously, next time he was in a penalty shootout, he stepped up, he scored. The next time again, he took and he scored. So obviously the next 2 times he scored. But then the next time after that, what happened? He missed. And obviously that time, by then he had been used. He's been through the experience of missing a pen. So obviously he knew it wasn't that deep. He just came back. He just came back home and says to me, "Oh, I missed a pen," and he was very nonchalant about it. He was just like, "All right, but I'll score next time." And then what happened? He stepped up again. He stepped up. This was in the actual game, and he scored. So yeah, like I said, don't be afraid of that. Don't shy away from that pressure, because if you let another person take that pressure off you and they don't deliver, you're gonna be even more upset than if you had taken the pressure and you'd missed. So yeah. So thankfully my brother has learned that at an early age, and yeah, so now I can guarantee he's not really gonna be shying away from taking responsibility, putting pressure on himself, because hey man, pressure makes diamonds at the end of the day. So yeah, don't be afraid of taking that responsibility. Because trust me, because it does come with, if you miss, it comes with all eyes are going to be on you. But hey, if you score though, if you score, all eyes are definitely gonna be on you as well. So it's that risk to reward thing. The reward, are you willing to what's it called? Take the pen or step up in those big moments with that reward? Yeah, because trust me, it comes with all the reward, glory, especially if you make it pro. If you score the winning penalty, score the winning goal, step up to take that free kick when your team are 1-0 down in the 90th minute. Hey, it pays off to put pressure on yourself. So yeah.